Hey, YouTube. Well, Ivanka Trump. All right. Ivanka Trump was being interviewed by White House correspondent. I forget the interviewer's name. It's not important. Anyway, he asked her about her father's accusation. You know, she's known for fighting for women's rights and equal pay for women. And so he asked her a question. Did she believe the accusers? He's got 20 accusers accusing him of sexual impropriety or inappropriate behavior, and sometimes even more serious charges. And the interviewer asked her, did she believe him? And she said what I thought was because I'm sure it caught her off guard. But I thought it was a reasonable answer. She said, I think it's inappropriate to ask me that. It's inappropriate to ask a daughter about her father that way. Here's the problem. The problem is nepotism, right? This woman is a senior advisor to the President of the United States. So she's telling, in the end, she did say, I believe my father. But she prefaced it by saying, you shouldn't ask me that even. What that basically told me was, of course I'm going to say, I believe my father. How can I not say it when he's saying it all over, that he blatantly denies the accusations? So it's put her in the spot where she has got to lie. And that's what the problem comes in, because if you are the senior advisor to the president, what if his whole thing ends up in court? Now, we know in court, a wife cannot be compelled to testify against her husband, right? And I'm sure they'll find a way, that they have all the best lawyers in the world, to argue that also a daughter, it's probably a law, cannot be compelled to testify against her father. But this is not a child, this is a grown woman. The problem is she works at the White House. She has access to all of his goings on. And maybe they won't ask her the question as a daughter, but as a senior advisor to the president. What happens when this thing hits the courts? More than likely, Trump at some point is going to be brought up. He's going to face, I don't know if he's going to face charges. What's the word? I get lost, people. I'm sorry. He's going to face whatever when they try the people, like Bill Clinton has gone through. Impeachment proceedings. Isn't that something how the brain freezes up after 50? Anyway, we're back. If he faces impeachment or trial, court, that means she already said that she has to lie. She cannot testify against her father. And Jared Kushner. Now, he's definitely going to be involved in any court case. So he's not going to be able to tell the truth either. So are they both going to be able to claim that they don't have to testify against their father and father-in-law? It's very strange. That's why they have nepotism laws. I don't know how he got around the nepotism laws. But it is what it is. She said, you shouldn't ask me that. Basically because I know he's guilty. Of course he's guilty. She had the same father for, I don't know how old she is, 35, 40 years. She's had that same father, so she knows what he's been accused of. She reads the National Enquirer. I'm sure she's seen the headlines since she was a baby. I'm sure there's been many fights around the Trump house because he has never been a faithful husband. So she knows the truth. If nobody else knows the truth, she knows the truth. I'm sure her and her mother have had many, many conversations, particularly during the divorce proceedings or the fights over custody, things of that nature. She knows it, but at the same time, she's not able to say, okay, I believe the women. That would be devastating to his presidency and his case if it comes to that. Anyway, nepotism. Plus, this girl has been raised up around lying under the guise of business. They've been in business. She's been a businesswoman her whole life. And I'm sure her father is the one who taught her everything she knows, which include a whole lot of lying. So they put her on the spot. When first pushed to answer, she's sticking with her father as opposed to all these women. So now she's got to choose her father over women. But I think most people will make the same come to the same conclusion. Whether they were blindsided by a question or not, most people are not going to say if their father is or mother or brother accused of something heinous, they're going to have to keep quiet about it, because more than likely they're going to already have a notion. The person, I'm assuming that the person is guilty. They have knowledge of that. They're not going to say it. Some families like talking to the same person. So she's automatically on his side. So that's going to be a big, big problem when Mueller gets down to the grassroots of this thing. And they end up in court. She can't testify. Kushner can't testify. Those are the only ones he have left in there that was in from the beginning. Everybody else has been fired. Don't hire your family. They're hard to get rid of. All right. So they're going to be I imagine they're going to be putting the screws on Kushner as opposed to the actual daughter. More will be revealed. Other things, since we're here in the Trump show, one other thing about that man. I thought I'd be doing a Trump show regularly, but it's just too much. It's too much. Every time I turn the TV on in the morning, there he is. Some other outrageous lie. Every time they say he's going to speak, I can't stand to listen to Donald Trump talk. But every time I try to hang in long enough to catch him in the first lie, or hyperbole, as they put it. Now he says that the man, they're all on this cop that didn't run into the school to fight this AR-5, AR-7, whatever, AR-15 with a handgun. He wants to arm the teachers with guns. All right. If you're going to shoot up a school, and you got these machine guns, several of them, several clips, unlimited ammunition, you are going to school, and you know the teachers could have guns. Who are you going to shoot first? Who are you going to shoot first? He told that the guy that was outside the school. This all happens in moments, right? Guy didn't run into the building. He said he should have ran in there. Trump said, I would have ran in there even with no weapon, no unarmed, which is such bullshit. First of all, you don't know what you're going to do in the circumstance. But this is a man who avoided the service. He got 5 deferments. Donald Trump is not sacrificing his life for shit. I would run in without a gun. What are you going to do, go in there and slap him? He's assuming that, he just said if a teacher in the school had a gun, then that would just stuff the whole thing out. He just pulled a gun out and shoot him. This dude, this murderer, is shooting off rounds and rounds and rounds and rounds of ammunition. How are you going to get out there with your pea shooter and you going to shoot him in the head the first shot? Because the second shot is not going to happen. Anytime you aim at him, they're going to have to be sharpshooters to get him with the first bullet in the brain. Otherwise, you're going to mow their ass down. So is the next step, teachers should have AR-15s? The logic doesn't make any sense. This is our president, and he don't mind all that hyperbole, and he don't mind lying. And it's just a mess. Okay, people. Okay, so that's just what I want to talk about. What else did he lie about? I couldn't watch it. I cannot watch Donald Trump talk. First of all, he doesn't speak well. I know I'm no public speaker myself, but you would think that a person who is the president of the United States would be able to speak better, not exaggerate everything he says, to not say that this is the greatest in history, and this is the greatest tax cut in history, and everything the greatest and the most wonderful. And it's like the truth means nothing. He just says whatever he wants to say. Everything is the best, unheard of, the best presidency ever. Meanwhile, all the people who count in these polls are saying he's the worst president ever. How do you go from the best to the very worst? It's easy. You turn from MSNBC to Fox News. Totally different worlds. The truth means nothing at all. America, I don't know what y'all were thinking, putting that man in office. It is something to behold. All right. So we know where Ivanka's going to stand if she gets called to testify.